Hangout. Today we're going to be talking about Premier Services and what it is. And joining me to represent the Premier Services group are Brian Roof, Greg Silvius, and Matt Forrest. These guys represent the best and brightest that GoDaddy has to offer. Premier Services is an elite group. It's kind of like the GoDaddy Special Forces. It's very hard to be chosen for the position. And anytime we have a posting open up, there is a tremendous amount of people that apply and very few people get chosen. The reason why it is so hard to get chosen is because we're looking for people that have a dynamic skill set. They need to be able to troubleshoot servers and SEO, and also be able to understand business strategies to help you succeed, and domain monetization and sales trends that are happening right now. So really, we're asking them to do a lot. And on top of that, we're asking them to do it with white glove service. GoDaddy as an organization prides itself on providing the best customer service in the industry. We've won many awards for that, but this team really takes that to the next level. They're doing everything they can to make sure that you're going to be able to succeed. One of the main things that they do is help people understand how to be successful with their businesses on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of that only comes from years and years of hard work. Greg's been in GoDaddy for almost a dozen years, Brian for 8, and Matt's the junior member for 6. That's why we're making them stand on the side. And they've all been in Premier Services for many years, with Greg at almost a decade. So I'm going to turn it over to them and let them explain what the Premier Services group is, how you can be a part of it, and how it can benefit your business. So I'm going to turn it over to Brian, start letting you know the benefits.
All right, so today we're going to give you a pretty good overview of Premier Services. We're going to talk about who qualifies, the benefits of Premier Services, the tools that are available to Premier Services clients, and industry knowledge. So to start with, who qualifies? So in Premier Services, we don't just work with domain investors. We might work with any company who has a lot of domains and spends a lot of money with GoDaddy. That might be a domain investor, but it might also be a business who acquires domain names for marketing or brand protection purposes. It might be a developer who develops websites for monetization purposes. Could be a developer who develops websites for clients and keeps everything housed within their GoDaddy account. Could be an SEO company or a marketing company. Basically, anyone who meets the qualifications for the department and who we think would be a good fit for the department. The minimum qualifications are that you spend $5,000 a year with GoDaddy, and that you have a minimum of 250 domains in your GoDaddy account. Now, exceptions can be made to this. For example, let's say you only have 20 domains in your GoDaddy account, but you spend $20,000 every few months on a new investment. You might be a good fit for the department, and we want to have a conversation with you. Also, let's say that you have 200 domains in your GoDaddy account, but you have another 100 domains over at a different registrar. If you'd be willing to transfer those domains to GoDaddy, you'd probably be a good fit for the department, and we'd like to have a conversation with you. So if you think you may qualify for the department, and you think you meet the minimum qualifications, leave a comment below. We'll reach out to you through a private message and have a conversation. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt, who's going to talk about the benefits of Premier Services.
Okay, thanks. So I'm going to go through some of the benefits of Premier Services. So one of the main benefits, as you can probably guess, is that as a Premier Services client, you receive a one-on-one relationship, or you get an account manager that helps you in managing your account. One of the first things that we do when you get added to the department is we give you a phone call, or we'll reach out to our book and have a conversation with you to kind of make sure that we understand your goals, your long-term plan, your strategy for your portfolio. So it's just that one-on-one relationship, somebody else that's looking out for your portfolio and giving you suggestions, advice when you need it, and helping you, I guess, grow your portfolio. or help sell whatever you're trying to do with your book. Another big benefit of Premier Services is, in being a client of GoDaddy, is that you have 12 million clients, 12 million customers and accounts, active users that are going every day to our website, searching for domain names. You probably got you've got thousands of people going, small businesses searching for a domain name. Having your portfolio and having your domains listed on auctions, when somebody does a search there for the domain name, they see it's available for purchase, they can purchase the domain right there, and you get paid for the domain name. Another thing, for example, if you have somebody that's coming out to do a search for the domain name, they see that your domain's for sale and it's listed for $5,000, they may reach out to GoDaddy, call the floor, and ask about the domain name. Normally they'll say, I see that GoDaddy owns this domain name and is selling the domain name. At that point, we kind of have to let them know that GoDaddy doesn't own any domain names. Everything on the auctions portfolio is owned by our clients, by customers, but customers know that they can reach out to Premier Services representative and kind of get the ball rolling as far as the negotiation for certain domain names. If there's any issues with your account, any issues with domain names, trademark, UDRP, we're there. You can give us a call, another point of contact where it's the same person that you're dealing with, not just a random person that you'll be calling in and talking to. As I discussed, each client has their own direct line of communication. You've got your direct phone number to your Premier Services representative, also an email. If we're not in the office, somebody else will be there to take the call. One thing that we're proud of is normally there's never a wait for our department. If you're calling in for our department, 99% of the time you're going to get directly to your account manager or directly to somebody else that'll be able to help you out. So we understand your time is valuable. We want to make sure that you're busy selling domain names, working on your business, and we try to make doing business on our side as easy as possible so you're not waiting on hold. And we understand that your time is valuable that way. Also, another big benefit is we help transfer with bulk transfers. So I've got a couple of clients that I've been working with that have a pretty big portfolio. They've come to think that their registrar might not be safe or maybe having issues there and want to consolidate everything to GoDaddy. So once a month, they'll send me an email with all their domain names, all the authorization codes, and I pretty much take care of the rest. So I put in the bulk transfer request, we have the bulk tools, paste in all the transfer codes. So in a matter of minutes, we've got their 150 domain names, 200 domain names every month, transferred and consolidated into GoDaddy. They probably don't want to do it all at once for cash flow reasons. They want to space it out as those domains come up for renewal. And that's something that we can work with as far as getting everything consolidated. The next thing I wanted to talk about, and probably something that is on your mind, is pricing. So as a Premier client, you receive a lot of benefits and better pricing that's not going to be shown on the front of the website. So we understand that you, as the top 1% of GoDaddy clients, you've got your portfolio here, you've made an investment, whether it's for your corporation, for your portfolio, if you're a domainer buying and selling domain names. And so you receive special pricing on domain names, depending on the quantity that you have. From time to time, we'll also we'll receive special pricing from the registry. So like the .com registry will reach out and say, hey, for the month of November, to your Premier clients, they get this certain pricing on new .com domain names. And so I think in the past 2 years that I've been with the department, that's happened a couple of times where we've sent an email out to clients letting them know it's only for Premier Services clients because of the number of domains that you have that you get special pricing, special buy rates on domain names. So this pricing will apply not only to domain names, but also if you're active in the aftermarket, you're picking up domain names with back orders. We have some clients, maybe you're buying 100 or a couple hundred back orders every month to try to pick up domain names at auction. You get special pricing on back orders. Also in privacy, quite a few domainers don't like to have their information out there where they're receiving spam messages all day long. So they have their portfolio with privacy on there. Depending on the number of domains with privacy, you'll get special pricing on that also. So this applies not only to domain names, products, also across the board. If you're a server client, if you've got SSL certificates, other hosting, Office 365 email. If you're doing something in bulk, a lot of times we can provide better pricing on products that's not shown or advertised on the front of the website. The next thing I wanted to talk about is domain security. So you've made this investment. We understand you spend a lot of money in acquisition of domain names, in the renewals of domain names, and the most important thing for us is keeping your inventory, keeping your portfolio secure. An added feature, and I think something that really sets us apart from other registrars is that we have a domain transfer validation service. So this is just another layer of security that we put on our clients' portfolios. Got a lot of domain names, huge inventory, very valuable. We understand there's a huge responsibility to help us protect that inventory. So as an option that you have as a client is to add a domain transfer validation service. So what this is it's another layer of security. If you want to transfer the domain, or no domain can be transferred to another registrar, transferred or moved into a different account without a separate phone call, with you giving a PIN number to authorize the transfer. So in case an employee, a family member, somebody that's not authorized gets into the account that shouldn't be there and try to move a domain name away, that won't be possible unless they receive the phone call and can give that separate PIN number to keep your domain name secure. So that's just an added layer. Also, another thing I want to talk about is when somebody calls in, you're talking to the same person. And so we're going to know if we have a relationship, we're going to know if it is you on the phone. And just another layer, it's not a random person that's trying to validate the account. Your calling during Premier Services hours will always come to our department. We're always going to be verifying the account, validating into the account. And if it's somebody that doesn't sound like they should be, or somebody that we don't recognize your voice, then we'll have another added security there that will make sure that it's just you that's accessing the account, or the person that's trying to access the account really has authorization to do so. The last thing I want to talk about is bulk uploads. So uploading your domain portfolio to Afternic. And this has been something that's been a pretty big push for us over the last couple months. It can be a pretty big task to price a big portfolio. And so we try to help out in doing a bulk upload list, getting your domain portfolio listed on Afternic. The benefit of Afternic, if you haven't talked to your account representative, if you are in Premier Services, is that they have premium promotion where you can list the domains in one place. And being opted into premium promotion, whether they're coming to GoDaddy or any one of the other 100 plus, I think it's almost up to 200 partner sites now that'll be listed for sale. So whether they're coming through GoDaddy, another partner website, they'll see the domains available for sale. They can purchase the domain name. So you get more exposure for your domain portfolio. More exposure translates into more sales, which is more profitability. So a huge benefit there. But we've got bulk upload lists, a couple people that even work in-house that we can email the list to help get them listed on Afternic and get them listed for sale. Half of the domain sales will still come through GoDaddy just because that's where most of the traffic is. But you'll double your sales having, or they say that you'll double your sales having your domains listed on multiple partner channels where people can make the purchase. But these are some of the many benefits of being a Premier Services client. And with that, I'll pass it over to Greg.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to speak about some of the tools that we offer and industry knowledge that Premier Services has. So first of all, with the tools, you could do bulk domain updates in our domain manager you can update name servers, you can do IP addresses, you can update the contact information through preset profiles. All of this is pretty straightforward and easy to do through our domain control center, but it is nice to have someone that you can speak to show you how to do it once. And once you learn how to do it, it's easy to go in there and do a lot of these updates. A lot of people don't know that we can do bulk IP address changes, and that is within our domain manager. Another thing is, so let's say you have 1,000 domain names and you need to update each one of those domain names to a different IP address. Premier Services agents have tools, internal tools that we can use to facilitate that. So if you ever have a bulk update that you need to do, you should definitely try to reach out to a Premier Services agent, and that's something we could let you know. More often than not, we are able to do a bulk update, and you could use the search criteria in the domain manager, or if you have a copy and paste list of domain names, it's really easy to do a lot of those bulk updates. The next thing is bulk transfers. Matt touched on this a little bit, but it is important, so I want to bring it up again. With domain transfers, if you're transferring over, let's say 1,000 names, that's something that we can definitely help with. All we need is the authorization code and the domains to be unlocked. And we can pretty much handle everything else on our side. We'll help you out pretty much for any bulk transfers that you're doing. And if you have 1,000 names, sometimes the cost is it's too great to move them all over at one time. And we can set up something like a monthly cycle. So I have several clients who decided to move domains over to us. Once a month, they send me an email with a list of the domain names, authorization codes, just tell me the domains are unlocked. I take care of the rest. It's very easy. So bulk transfers, if you find the process difficult or you have questions about it, just let us know. It's definitely something that we're able to help you out with. Okay. Next thing, let's discuss API. Now, this is something most people probably don't know that we offer. We have two APIs. One of them is our auctions API, and if you're interested in getting our auctions API, you want to reach out to a Premier Services agent. We'll actually create a ticket in your account, and you'll get emailed the key and the other documentation that you need for it. But the auctions API will allow you to bid on auctions. It'll show you your won list, your didn't win list. It'll also let you back order domain names. So there's a lot of functionality there. If you are doing a lot of work in the auctions environment and you know what you're doing with APIs, or you have an employee that does that, then definitely reach out to us. It's a huge asset to have the auctions API. The next API is our domains API. Everything I spoke about doing in bulk on the changing name servers, updating contact information, all of these things can be done through our domains API. You can do bulk availability checks within reason. You can actually register the new domain names, renewals. There's a lot of functionality there, and you can go to developer.godaddy.com and you'll be able to get the API right there. So once again, that's developer.godaddy.com, and everything in the domain manager you're pretty much able to do through that, including contact info updates. I know that's important for some of our clients. So that's a little bit of the tools, some of the tools that we offer. Obviously, if you have any questions on that, reach out to a Premier Services agent here or in the comment section here, and we can pretty much get the answers for you there. The next thing I wanted to speak about, last thing here, is industry knowledge. I've been with GoDaddy for a long time, as Joe said, almost a decade in Premier Services alone. And many of our Premier Services agents have been at GoDaddy 5+ years, many of them even in the department 3-4 years, I think, is probably the average. So we've seen a lot of the trends that have gone in the domain industry. When I first started, it was parking. Parking was all the rage. And I mean, it's not necessarily that anymore, but recently we've seen 3 and 4 number domain names that have really skyrocketed. Right now, 4-letter domain names are, there's a great investment opportunity there. So we actually see the trends. We speak to each other as agents, and then as we're having conversations, we have good conversations with our clients. We're relaying that information to a lot of our clients, and maybe someone wants to invest a little bit into domain names, and they look at buying five domain names, and they're all 4-letter domains. And then maybe in 6 months they try to turn it around, and that's how so many domainers and people actually get started in the domain industry. It's doing a small investment, whether a trend or whatever it may be, and then seeing success in it. So having those conversations with a Premier Services agent is can be extremely valuable and fun at the same time. In all honesty, that's what I really truly love about this department, and it's having those conversations and why I've been in the department for so long. So another thing, we have been here in the department a while. We know the ways that you can make money with domain names. A few of them are, I mentioned parking before. That's really not too much a thing anymore, but lead generation or squeeze pages. That's actually my favorite way to monetize my names. I personally own a portfolio of only about 100 names, but I'm actually in the thick of things, and a lot of our agents have a portfolio of names that we earn revenue with or try certain things, whether it's affiliate marketing, some development of websites, we are doing it as well. And I think that experience and that knowledge of just doing it ourselves is a huge asset where we can talk with clients about different experiences that we each have had. Buying and selling, I think Matt mentioned a little bit of this, and again, I wanted to touch base on it again. If you have a domain you're looking to purchase and you come to your agent first, there's probably a good chance it's at GoDaddy. I don't know how much of the market share we have, but I know we have the most domain registrations. So if it is at GoDaddy, that's a huge asset. We're able to potentially reach out to the owner of a domain name, maybe before it's even on auction or before you have to place, a public bid, and we can reach out directly to the owner of the domain name and just negotiate a quick deal behind the scenes. And these type of deals, they happen all the time. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I ended up closing a deal for one of my clients. It was in the 6 figures. It was it was a great name. So these deals do happen, and if you're interested in a domain name, you definitely want to reach out to a Premier Services agent, because you never know. We may already know the person who owns the name. There's definitely opportunities and potential there. So as far as buying and selling names, if you do qualify and you're able to speak with a Premier Service representative, that's definitely something you want to reach out to us and speak to us about. Lastly, it's kind of a cool thing. I think we use a lot of Premier Services clients for some of our beta testing. We'll reach out if we have a new product or service that we're testing, and we'll ask if they want to beta test it. Maybe we have a new domain manager or something like that, and we'll throw a kickback or whatever it may be with people that are helping us out. But it's a way for some of our clients to kind of see what GoDaddy is looking at in the future. What we're trying to develop, and our clients are going to have a different set. With a large number of domain names, it's going to be different than an average GoDaddy customer with maybe 2 names and a hosting account. So we really like to get the feedback from our clients, and if there's something that maybe bothers you or you can't figure out how to do in the domain manager, this gives an opportunity to provide real feedback to people who are in the thick of things that are instilling change at GoDaddy. So that's another kind of just cool on the side thing that we do offer to a lot of our Premier Services clients, just kind of a beta test if you want to do that. And it's just a neat little add-on. So I think we covered pretty much everything that Premier Services has to offer and what we have here. I think we can open it up to questions if anyone has some questions for us.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like we do have a couple coming in. So Bram wants to know more about pricing. The pricing for your guys' group, how is that compared to like the Discount Domain Club for users?
So the Domain Discount Club is pretty much the best pricing that GoDaddy is going to offer. For the most part, there are additional things in discounts with privacy. If you have a certain amount of domain names, we do offer some discounts there and on products. But as far as domains are concerned, the Domain Discount Club product that we offer is really a way for you to know that you're getting the best pricing at GoDaddy, and it's fair across the board. So the majority of our clients do have the Domain Discount Club product. I think we discussed this earlier, but if you are actually listening to this huddle, I would say in this month or the month of November, if you reach out to us through the huddle and your account qualifies for Premier Services.
Wait, didn't you get the memo?
Oh, the memo?
We're not doing that.
We aren't doing it?
No, I'm just kidding.
Executive decision. Yeah, if you leave us a comment under the huddle and you don't have a Domain Discount Club, we're willing to give that to you for free for the first year. So if you don't have one and put a comment in there, we'll reach out to you and we'll give you that for free. But that is pretty much going to be the best pricing on domain names that we offer. The margin on domains is very small when you have the Domain Discount Club. So if you have that, you're sitting pretty and you're pretty much equal with all the other Premier Services.
Thanks. And the next one is, if they're part of the Premier Services group, do you guys only do support when it comes to the domain aspect of it? And if they need help with like their website or anything else, do they go to support, or do you guys handle everything for them?
Well, we handle everything to an extent. So if there's a problem with the website, definitely call us first. We're going to do everything we can in order to help fix the problem. We have direct lines to other departments. We can reach out to specific, people in other departments that we know have special skill sets. There is a limitation to what we can do. I mean, we can't really help you fix your code of your website. We could try, and we do try a lot of times, but that's kind of outside the scope. Another thing is dedicated servers. There are a couple of members of the team that are pretty tech savvy when it comes to the dedicated servers, and we can try to assist there, but for the most part, that's something that's outside of the scope of support is dedicated servers. But pretty much anything, check with us first, and we're going to do the best we can to help you with the situation.
Thanks. All right. That's it for live questions at the moment coming in. But I have one more I just want to throw at you guys just to give people a little bit more time to comment. I just want to ask you, what's your favorite part about the department? You guys have all been in it forever. So what keeps you guys there?
Well, I mentioned it earlier in my little spiel thing there with industry knowledge. For me, the reason I'm still in the department is the good conversations that I have with my clients. I have a wide variety of clients that I manage. A lot of my clients are already successful, and that's great. I manage them, but it's the client that is just starting out that wants to invest in domain names, and we end up getting some names on expired auction. Maybe it's traffic names or whatever it may be, and then they build out some sites and they're earning some lead generation revenue, and then they sell a few names, and after 6 months they're growing, they're making money. And then I've had some clients that after a year they call me up, they say, Greg, I quit my job, I'm going to do this full time. I'm being really successful with it. And just having that relationship from the ground up, seeing someone who's successful, who actually is able to do it for a living because they love doing it, that is the reason why I'm still in the department ultimately, and that's what I get the most fun out of. So,
Thanks.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Very similar to what Greg just said. One of the main reasons I came to Premier Services is because I'm interested in the industry. I'm interested in domain monetization and selling domain names, and I love having conversations with people who are successful. I love having those great conversations with people that are they're quitting their day job because their websites are taken off, or they just sold a big name and they're going to go take an awesome vacation. Just like Greg said, it's a conversation. I really enjoy working with customers and hearing their stories of success. It's the best part of the job, best part of the day.
Yeah, and I would say the same thing. There's not too many industries. I have a finance background, so that's kind of what I like, the investment side, buying domain names. There's not too many industries where you can buy an expired domain name for $25 and turn around and sell it for $2,500 a month later, 2 months later. And so, the opportunity that's there's lots of people who have been successful in buying and selling domain names, but just dealing with people and hearing them kick around ideas, different domains, different verticals. When you see a big domain name close, you have clients that sell big domain names. It gets me excited. So, that's what I do, help people buy domain names, help them monetize the domain names, and just being there to help them out. So when I came to GoDaddy 6 years ago, heard about Premier Services. This has kind of been the department that I've wanted to come to. It's dealing with successful people all day long, talking to them about their portfolio, growing their portfolio. And that's what I love doing every day.
Right on. Cool. Well, cool. I'm going to be the spooky voice off the camera for a second, guys, and let you know that we have another Hangout next week with our GoDaddy email marketing team. We're going to cover holiday email marketing tips and how to improve your email marketing over the holiday season. So if that's something that interests you, come tune into that next Tuesday. But other than that, thank you guys for coming on and sharing your knowledge. I think it's been really awesome. I think a lot of people will benefit from it. So
absolutely.
Thanks you.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next time.